This is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Happy Easter, happy Passover. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us over the course of the next 2 hours, 800-848-9222. It is a miraculous story how that seriously wounded U.S. airman climbed a mountain, hid, and dodged Iranian bounty hunters, if you will, for some 36 hours. President Trump says, and I'm quoting here, thousands of these savages were hunting him down. But yet the U.S. military got to the soldier and he is okay. We'll get to that in a moment. And when I say okay, that's defined as rescued and back in U.S. hands. We'll get to that in a moment, but I have a few tidbits on my mind on this Sunday night. Mayor kill his own constituents with his horrible policies in Chicago. Brandon Johnson, what's on his mind? He says don't call these gangs of teenagers terrorizing people. He says don't call them mobs. Call them, quote, large gatherings.
That's not appropriate. We're not talking about mob actions. I didn't say that.
What happened?
Hold on a second, okay? Respectfully. These large gatherings, just hold on a second, y'all. I promise you, we have time to talk. It's important that we speak of these dynamics in an appropriate way.
Now, our second tidbit before we get to the big international story. The mayor here in New York City, Mamdani, he just loves social media. Now, granted, it is a great platform, but I guess it goes hand in hand with the fact that he's only 36 years old. Right? 34 years old, our mayor. And so what is he doing now to promote universal childcare for 2-year-olds? He's teaming up with, and let me just say this, as long as she doesn't make any endorsements, because she makes a lot of losing endorsements, but he is teaming up with Cardi B. Cardi B, yes, that rapper, she's going to be a judge for a city contest looking at jingles as it relates to universal child care for 2 years old. And the two of them, well, they're together on social media.
Hello. Oh my gosh, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Can you believe that? We got a 34-year-old mayor.
We do.
Like, I feel like I'm a kid, and you're like running New York.
I'm right there. Cardi, what do you think about free childcare?
I feel like free childcare is very important. Sometimes us women, we can't really go forward because we don't have nobody to help us take care of our kids.
This fall, we're starting to deliver universal 2K,
yes,
which is just like pre-K, just like 3K, but 2K for 2-year-olds.
Yes.
Free childcare, 2,000 seats in the fall.
Wow.
And they're going to be seats in the Bronx, starting it up. Shout out to the BX. Yeah. And enrollment actually starts in June.
Wow.
And we had a question for you.
Yes.
We're going to have a competition to create a jingle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So New Yorkers are going to submit their best jingle.
Oh, wow.
And we wanted to know if you would help judge that competition.
Oh, I will judge it for sure.
Cardi's going to help you.
Yes, I'm going to help you.
By judging this competition.
No, the mayor's going to help you. And I'm going to judge, and he's the one with the fun. Yeah. Amen. Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So I've said it once, I'll say it again. I like some of Cardi B's music. I said it and I mean it, right? I do. With all due respect, it's got to be part of her game. Nobody can be that stupid. Nobody. I think that's Cardi B's way of getting men to turn into her and tune into her and spend money. Nobody can be that dense, right? But notice the music in the video, and I guess it all goes in line with our mayor. Remember, he wanted to be the next Jay-Z, right? Yes, there we go, right on cue, Matt Blaze. He wanted to be the next Jay-Z. He did that video, and so he's in this social media thing now with Cardi B, and it wouldn't surprise me, Matt Blaze. I don't know about you. It wouldn't surprise me if we didn't see the mayor somehow recording a song, a little cameo in a Cardi B video.
Oh, that's coming. 100%.
I think it's coming.
100%.
I think it's coming. He was touching her hair in the video, and I'm like, whoa.
Think of it this way. This was his dream. He wanted to be a rapper.
Right.
So now
this is his dream.
He's now joining forces, bringing in one of the most prominent rappers right now, who's a female. And of course, when the next time she has a video, next song that comes out, who's going to be in the video? It's going to be all New York, and Mamdani will be in the video. 100%.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Matt Blaze. I'll be coming back to you talking about the weekend and so on. We have a lot to get to, folks. You folks have got game. Oh, you're always sending me videos. You're always sending me videos, always sending me clips. But you do it with love. You do it with love, and I appreciate it, right? I appreciate it. So normally it's about some type of diet or some type of food I should try, or this or that, or this or that, right? So this time, I think this is pronounced D-Zoner. D-Zoner sent this to me, right? This is from a CBS affiliate, a bear in Connecticut. We're going to get to the news in just 1 second, but a mama bear in Connecticut, and yes, a big mama bear, right? And she's over at some garbage cart, right? And she's pulling the garbage cart like she's pulling a shopping cart, and her cubs are near her, and she's standing up, and it looks like a human person doing this. So this is how I started my Sunday, looking at this video, again, from D-Zoner.
This is a bear in Connecticut that recently tried to pull a dumpster full of leftovers toward the woods, but take a look at the way she's standing there. Cubs running around nearby. It almost looks like a person at times pushing a shopping cart across the parking lot. You half expect her to pull out a pair of keys and open a car door. Maybe I'm crazy. The dumpster won this round, by the way. It stayed in the parking lot. And
so it did look like, Matt Blaze, it looked like a human being pulling the food there. Oh, here we go. You got jokes. You got jokes on this Sunday night. You got jokes. Oh, thank you very much. I see that smile on your face there, giving me a hard time, Matt Blaze. So I'm looking at my Twitter, at my X here, and let's see where I saw something. There's from Catherine. There's also from Jimmy Fontanez. Where's Jimmy's comment here? Jimmy was saying hello. I'm getting to the news in just 1 second. Jimmy Fontanez, Staten Island, says at Dominic TV, Happy Easter from Helen Stone, 1964, and me. At this time, it was 15 minutes before air. T-minus 15 to the Dominic Carter show. Let's like that, and let's retweet it. Let's retweet it. And so now let's get to the big news that the world is talking about. Much more serious tone now. In terms of the miraculous story, the seriously wounded U.S. airman climbing the mountain, hiding, avoiding the Iranian soldiers until the U.S. could get to him. This from Fox News, one of their star reporters, Trey Yangst.
I just spoke with President Trump for 15 minutes. He gave me some new details on the negotiations behind the scenes with the Iranians and what's going to happen if Iran does not make a good faith deal. The president tells me if they don't make a deal and fast, I'm considering blowing everything up and taking over the oil. The president went on to say you're going to see bridges and power plants dropping all over their country. Now, I asked him about the possibility of an agreement with the Iranians. He says those who are negotiating on behalf of Iran have been granted amnesty at this time so they can continue the talks. And the president tells me he thinks he'll be able to get a deal by tomorrow. He says, I think there's a good chance tomorrow. They're negotiating now.
And continuing on this, and our phone lines are open now. We see your calls coming in, 800-848-9222 on this Sunday night. The Meet the Press host on NBC quoting a telephone conversation she had with President Trump.
Breaking news overnight. In an extraordinary turn of events, the United States has rescued the second crew member who was in the U.S. F-15 fighter jet shot down over Iran Friday. President Trump texting me directly this morning. The rescue was an Easter miracle. The enemy was large and violent. The rescuers were brilliant, strong, decisive, and as cool as anyone can be. The Iranians thought they had him, but it wasn't even close. And remember, we got two, but couldn't talk about the first, in that it would have highlighted that there was a second. Such a rescue has never happened before in so violent an enemy territory. It is usually not done because it is considered not doable. Such a great military like no other. Adding on Truth Social, open the effing straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell.
Well, sounds exactly like President Trump. And guess what? If I'm the Iranians, I would take exactly to heart what he said. He is not one to play with. We're going to be coming back to this in just 1 second. And your telephone calls beginning momentarily on this Sunday night. One of the big stories here in the city continues to be the 7-month-old child that was shot in the head in Brooklyn. And one of the good reporters in New York, her name is Darla Miles, and she works for Channel 7 and WABC television, and she spoke to the mother, the actual 20-year-old mother of this baby.
Bill, this mother is 20 years old. She's just 20 years old. She's virtually a baby herself. She was starting her life, her 2 children, her fiance. She aspires to become a pediatric nurse. And then this entire tragedy happened here behind me. She is terrified. She's traumatized, afraid to go back outside, and overwhelmed by what is happening and what has happened over the last few days.
Kaori was a sweet baby. She was always there. Anytime I needed her, she was always there.
At only 7 months old, the mother of Kaori Patterson Moore says she's always felt her daughter had purpose.
I didn't get to go to my aunt's funeral, and then I gained somebody that was there, that I comforted in and helped me through a lot.
The 20-year-old mother of this sweet 7-month-old baby girl asking not to be identified after her infant daughter was struck by a bullet in her carriage in East Williamsburg Wednesday afternoon.
She didn't deserve to die. She didn't deserve any of this. And I just wish that she was here, because I can't smell her, I can't kiss her, I can't hold her anymore, and she's just gone.
Surveillance video shows the young family leisurely walking on the sidewalk when a moped just seems to pop up out of nowhere. The group quickly ducks as shots are fired. The accused gunman, Amari Green, arrested trying to flee the scene. Police are still searching for the driver of the moped.
I'm just upset about everything everybody's posting online, saying that my fiance is a part of the reason why my daughter's gone. That's not the reason why she's gone.
This after the NYPD says her fiance may have been the intended target. But the family strongly pushing back on this, saying the only person responsible for Kaori's death is the one who pulled the trigger.
And I just wish I could have did more as a mom to protect them both. Because walking in the street and then that just happened and I didn't realize until I got into the store, it just killed me. And I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I miss you so much.
So there you have it, the mother of the 7-month-old baby. And it was interesting that at a weekend rally that Attorney General Letitia James attended in the community, they read a letter from the father. And the father said that he was trying to give up that lifestyle. So by all indications, it does look like that may have had something to do with this, possibly gang-related. As the police said at the very beginning, 800-848-9222. Let's start with some of your telephone calls. Line 1, Michael in New Jersey. What's on your mind, Michael?
Yeah, what I wanted to discuss was President Trump said that the reason the Western European countries are angry at him is because he said, look, you have to pay the 2% of your income towards NATO to protect yourselves from the Soviet Union. Trump has more, he thinks more highly of the European Union, the countries here, than they deserve, because that's not the reason why they're not going to help him. The reason that all of those countries in Western Europe refuse to help him is because the most common name, the most popular name in the country of England, has the same name in most of the countries in Europe. Do you know what that name is for a
Michael,
newborn baby?
Get to the point. Stop trying to set up a scenario here. Get to the point. I'm getting very irritated with what you're saying. What is the point you're trying to make? You're not on display. You're not putting on a show. And you're giving your opinion. You don't know factually for why these... Hold on a second. You don't know factually for why these European countries are not on board. I don't know. It's like you spend half the day coming up with your talking point for what you want to say. You want to set up a story. Get to the point.
The reason, you want to
your opinion of the reason. You don't know the reason.
I'm stating a fact. You can look it up. It's a fact.
A fact based on what? A fact based on what?
A fact on statistics.
Based on what?
Based on the most popular name for a newborn baby in England and most of the countries.
And that's why, Michael, do you realize what you're saying, Michael? Michael, stop for a second. Do you realize what you're saying? You're saying that these European countries are not helping because of a name that comes out of England? Are you listening to yourself?
No. Because the majority of the people in England, the overwhelming new majority, are Muslim, and they're afraid of the Muslim population.
Okay, so Michael, you could have said that in the first 15 seconds. You don't have to take us on a road of telling some long, drawn-out story when no one can follow you.
Well, if you give me a chance.
I don't have all day for you and your stories.
Well, I'm just not going to say, the name of the newborn child is Muhammad. Right? I'm explaining why I believe Trump made a mistake.
But Michael, then why didn't you say that you believe that you're talking like this is factual?
No, it is factual. The most popular name in England and most of the other European
all right,
countries.
Michael, so that I can follow you, and then I got to wrap this up. Wait, Michael, catch your breath. What is it that you're trying to tell me? Say it directly and don't take forever to do so.
They're afraid of the growing...
When you say they're afraid, who are you talking about? The European league? What are you saying?
Leaders, who do you think I mean? The leaders of the country.
I need you to... So we can follow you. I need you...
The leader in Germany, they're all terrified of their growing Muslim population. Not because they refuse...
And that's why they're not helping Trump in Iran.
Well, if you have a country where the people, a very large amount of people are Muslim, you're afraid they'll start rioting. They may start putting on those suicide jackets and blowing themselves up and taking the people, Europeans, with them. They're terrified of them. That's the answer. It's not because they don't want to pay the 2% towards NATO. It's because they're scared of the new population. That's what they're afraid of. Because
Michael, you got to do me a favor. You got to, Michael, I like you, but you got to stop with your John Wayne theories. You really, you go from one extreme to the next. One extreme to the next. Thank you for the call, Michael, because you've given me a headache. It took me 5 to 7 minutes to figure out what you were trying to say. Let's go to Max, line 1, Manhattan. What's on your mind, Max?
Well, in part, I might have to agree with Michael that the UK is being taken down by the Muslim population. And there's a guy who's been talking about this. His name is Tommy Robinson. He's been screaming about it. In fact, he's been thrown in jail twice.
Okay, all right. But we're not talking about Mr. Robbins, whoever you just said. What is the point you want to make?
Well, as far as the most popular English name, or
here we go. Michael took the whole show down this. Now, thank you for the call. Now we're going down a slope of names in Europe because Michael calls up with his crazy theory and took the whole show. I'm going to hit the reset button on the show and see if we can get the show back on track. Max, thank you for the call. What I want to focus on right now, say her name, Sheridan Gorman. Sheridan Gorman, the 18-year-old young lady from our area, Westchester County, that was murdered in Chicago with Mayor Do Nothing against his own constituents, meaning U.S. citizens. And Congressman Mike Lawler appeared on Meet the Press. Here's a bit from that.
Chris, and this is critical. Here is an example of not enforcing our immigration laws. An 18-year-old girl in my district, Sheridan Gorman, was killed in Chicago after an illegal immigrant was allowed to enter into the United States during the Biden administration. He was captured, he was detained, he was released. He went to Chicago, he committed a crime, he was arrested. Under Chicago's disastrous criminal justice laws, he was released back out onto the street, and he executed this 18-year-old girl. Democrats do not want to fund ICE and Customs and Border Patrol. And what will happen is individuals like Jose Medina will be allowed to enter into the country and kill innocent Americans.
Congressman, let me just
get
wrong.
Back to the I will not stand for it, and that is why we are pushing back against this.
Say her name, Sheridan Gorman. I will continue to say her name. Dominic Carter here with you folks. When you look at the weekend shows in terms of what happened in Iran, the guy that's always on point, Republican consultant Scott Jennings, this is what he had to say.
This story of us rescuing this airman is nothing short of incredible. And what the United States military is able to pull off, I mean, it's just amazing. So,
we're the only ones.
I mean, to say that we're thankful for this military operation this morning, it doesn't even capture how incredible it is.
Let me focus for a moment, folks. We're going to go back to your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. I see I'm going to have to start instituting a policy where we're going to have to talk about the issue at hand, because it's happening too much where people are calling and going completely left and throwing the show off track, and then I got to pull it back. And so we may have to institute that very, very soon. Thank you very much, Michael, in New Jersey, for that. And I'm being sarcastic. You know who doesn't like Mayor Mamdani? It's very, very clear. It's evident. The former mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. He appeared with Laura Trump on Fox. And first he talked about his life, and then we'll get to Mamdani.
There is a different mayor.
Yes.
At Gracie Mansion right now. What are you hearing, generally speaking, from New Yorkers?
Oh, there's concern. Yes, you have to ensure the streets are safe. Yes, you have to take out the garbage and all of those things and ensure the economy is great. But there's a lot of symbolism. When you have police officers attacked in a park, and you dismissive of that, when you lose double-digit people on your street because they're sleeping because of cold weather, when you believe that you want to tax the top 1% who pay 40 to 50% of our taxes, that's just the wrong symbol. It's only been a little over 2 months,
right,
where people are concerned about what the future, are we going to lose the gains that we've had?
And it's interesting, folks. Somebody has to hit the recalibrate button, because Adams is correct. And Mamdani's policies are so far over the cliff that he has some people thinking what he's proposing is normal. And it's not normal. The death tax, the taxes on the wealthy, etc., etc., etc. Adams continuing on the Fox News channel.
How has life been for you as a private citizen now?
Oh, it's really difficult to really absorb that I've been doing this for 40 years. 40 years nonstop, 12-hour days, just hearing concerns of people. And when you wake up the day after and realize that you're not responding to a shooting, you're not responding to a crisis, and you're just able to focus on yourself, it's an unbelievable feeling. And I'm excited because of my time as mayor. I spent a lot of time inviting foreign dignitaries to the city. And now all of that has turned into some good communications and relationships. And so it's a great world out there waiting for me.
the former mayor of this city, Eric Adams. I've got to take a break. We're going to hit the reset button. We're coming right back, and we're going to have more of your calls, 800-848-9222.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Leadership Thread with Dr. Peggy Polonis.
I'm Dr. Peggy Polonis. Join me on each episode where I unravel the story that shaped leaders, tracing the thread that led them where they are today. Because leadership isn't born in adulthood. And thank you once again for joining us on the Leadership Thread, education, ethics, and sustainability.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Tap the banner to learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are back with the final minutes left of Easter Sunday, and also happy Passover for the last few days for everyone. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us live right now, 800-848-9222. We'll get back to the military, U.S. military action in Iran to rescue the second soldier, which was successful, in just a moment. But let's go back to some more of your telephone calls. Let's go to Charlie, line 1, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Charlie, happy Easter. What's on your mind?
Yes, I wanted to call and talk about the topic at hand, which you brought up. I had heard about the shooting of the 7-month-old girl, and it's just terrible. Now, I didn't realize that the child's mother was only 20 years old. And I just think it's horribly sad, obviously, for the family. I wish them my condolences during this Easter, Sunday. I just think it's absolutely horrible. But, I mean, I think along with the mayor and other people's disrespect of the police, people have to learn, people, especially in New York City where the crime happened, have to learn to respect and value the sacrifice and just value the job that the police department and police officers have to do. It's an unpleasant job having to go around arresting people, especially when they commit crimes. But if we don't respect our police force, we're going to have more and more of these type of crimes because it's going to be a deterioration and erosion of the civil society. And I was wondering what your thoughts are about this.
Well, of course, Charlie, I agree with you, but easier said than done. In some communities, kids are taught... Okay, I'm not going to run. I'll use myself as an example. Instinctively, in communities of color, when you're growing up, you're taught that the police are not your friend, that the police are looking to set you up. This is what you're taught instinctively, right? And it's wrong. It's wrong. Nobody's looking to set you up. Nobody's trying to make you a fall guy. But instinctively, that's what's taught. So and you have some families where they just come out and say it to young people. So my question to you, Charlie, is I agree with everything that you just said, but how do we begin to change this?
How do we begin to change the attitudes of? I guess we have to take these people who suffer these horrible, terrible tragedies, like this poor young woman. I didn't realize the mother was only 20, and the kid was 7 months old, and she was shot and killed. And if this doesn't wake people up, that we need a police officer, we need a police force. And I don't know. Charlie, I don't know what can do to help the people.
You're preaching to the choir. I am telling you. I could have guaranteed you that the mother's young. And it's a stereotype, but I could have guaranteed you that the father was somehow involved with some type of alleged criminal behavior. These are all things that go with every one of these stories. And I just don't know. I'm going to try again, Charlie. And I know it's easier said than done, But I just don't know how we begin to turn this around. Because in many communities,
short of declaring martial law or suspending some of our constitutional rights, I'm stuck. I'm like you. I'm flummoxed.
You're not. I'm stuck with you, Charlie. So don't take it the wrong way. Because what I'm thinking about right now, right, is that in some communities, you are taught instinctively and outright that if you want to go on to college, you're nothing but an Uncle Tom. If you want to better yourself. If you're the neighborhood drug dealer, you got 8, 9 girls, you got the cars, you got the money, you got everything. You have the respect of the community. If you want to go on to college, you're called a nerd, an Uncle Tom, the worst of the worst. And I just don't know how we get around this. What you're saying makes perfect sense, Charlie, and I agree with you. Hey, but I got a question for you. Is Cherry Hill still as nice as I remember it?
Yes, it is. It's a nice neighborhood.
So for example, the way you live in a beautiful community, the way you and I see the police, in the hood, the police are not seen that way. Same police officers, different individuals, but they're just not seen that way. You know, it's a different mindset. You know, I don't know. I don't know how we clean this up.
The police are looked upon as the enemy. And if you try to do well in school, you try to be academically successful or motivated or do your homework, you're called acting white. That's referred to as acting white, which
exactly.
I don't understand.
I didn't want to go there tonight, but that's exactly what you're called. Exactly what you're called. You're acting white. You're talking white. You're nothing but a white boy. Look at you. Why are you acting like this? Why are you not one of us? That's exactly what you're called and what you're told. And I don't know how. I've been racking my brain trying to figure this out. How instinctively kids in urban America are taught instinctively to hate the police, to not like the police.
The culture has to change. The culture has to change. I mean, I don't see.
But I just don't see how the culture's getting worse. I don't see how it changes. I just don't. I hate to be so pessimistic, but I just don't see how it changes. Hey, Charlie, thank you for the great call. Let's see here. Let's go to Robert in Pearl River, New York, line 3. Robert, what's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing, Dominic? One thing I like about you, Dominic, you're so honest, and that's good. You're just fair. You know, I'm 63 years old, you know, and I was born in the Bronx, and I'm a real Bronx guy, okay? And, you know, like you said, they have to learn, you know, what people of color got to understand, and they got to understand in the family and in schools. When a police officer gives a lawful order to get out of the car, or it's not that like they're saying, we hate you. They need to obey it. They can't say, oh, no, I don't do that. I know my rights. No, I'm not giving it to you. That's the problem. And then it escalates, and then that person of color starts a fight. The police officer is not supposed to hesitate. So this is the problem, and that has to be solved. Exactly what you're saying. That has to be taught correctly, not teach them to, hey, the cops are no good. All cops, there are some bad apple cops and some bully cops, but the majority are trained, you know what I mean, in the right way. And this escalates to, you know, madness. And this has been going on, like you said, for a very long time in the community, in the African-American community in the Bronx and different areas, the inner cities. So if that could be taught correctly, that would stop. If, you know, to obey.
Robert, but it can't be taught. You have organizations that use taxpayer dollars to teach people that the police are the enemy, and basically to teach them what your rights are, which is basically teaching people how not to cooperate with the police, which can be dangerous.
Yeah, that's
because things quickly escalate.
Exactly right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's such a shame. And you think that could be changed at some time, and you know there could be peace with that. I wish there was an idea somebody could come up with something where
it's the Democrats, you know.
Yeah, they're bad.
I wish it were different. I wish it were different, but it's not. Democrats will do anything to hold on to power. So they go tell these people in these communities what they want to hear.
Basically,
and they get taxpayer dollars to back it up, to taxpayer dollars to teach you how not to cooperate with the police.
So indirectly, they're responsible for all this tragedy. They really are.
Well, I put it to you this way, Robert. When the stuff hits the fan, do you see these elected officials there? When the stuff hits the fan, of course not. They're gone.
Right.
They're gone. You know, you love her or hate her, Letitia James was there, I think Saturday for the rally. The Attorney General. You know, I don't know. I wish I had an answer to this. You know, I honestly feel that it's easier for President Trump to solve the war with Iran than it is to deal with these issues that exist in urban America. Thank you for the call, Robert. Let's go to Len in Manhattan, line 2. What's on your mind, Len?
Hi, Dominic. Call me naive, call me crazy, but I just want to say that with respect to all the lawlessness I see going on with a lot of these young people nowadays, to me this goes back to parenting. And I wish some lawmaker would have the chutzpah to try to change the educational system in such a way that kids before they graduate high school will be forced to take a class called Mature American Parenting or Sophisticated American Parenting. I think a lot of people are having kids, they don't know how to raise them, and we say as a society, have failed, and we often say, you know, what's being taught in the home? We can no longer take for granted that positive things are being taught in the home, and I'm not trying to change what's being taught in the home. I like to supplement what's being taught in the home, and if we did that, maybe kids would have more respect for the police, more respect for each other, more respect for the educational system, and stop using violence as a way of addressing disagreement.
Hey, Len, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you have people that are dependent, literally dependent on a welfare check for survival. Dropped out of high school, no education, barely know how to take care of bodily functions, and when I say barely, I mean barely, and they're having babies. And you feel bad because they have this pipe dream that this child is going to go on and become a doctor, not realizing that each time you don't go to open school night, you're setting that child back. Each time that you let someone smoke weed or marijuana around it, you're setting that child back. I'm not joking. When I really believe, Len, I'll give you the final word, that it's easier to solve the war with Iran and the relationship with Russia than it is to deal with some of the problems that we have society-wise. You have the final word.
I just want to say, Dominic, thanks for taking my call, and unfortunately, I think you're right.
I wish I wasn't. Thank you. Thank you very much. 800-848-9222. Back to the successful rescue of the second American soldier that was shot down in Iran. Again, this is from the Fox News channel, one of their star reporters. He's doing an outstanding job in Israel. His name, Trey Yingst.
The U.S. crew member who was missing in southwestern Iran after his F-15 fighter jet was shot down has been rescued. The successful extraction was announced by President Trump overnight on Truth Social. The president simply said, "We got him," before providing new details that dozens of U.S. military aircraft were used to retrieve him as U.S. leadership tracked his location. It was a daring operation that included hundreds of U.S. forces racing against the clock to rescue the crew member. Fox News has learned that after the fighter jet was shot down on Friday, the weapons systems officer hiked to an elevated mountain ridge where he hid and waited for retrieval. The pilot of the jet was rescued by U.S. Special Forces on Friday, but President Trump said they waited to confirm as to not jeopardize this second operation. The president added, quote, "This is the first time in military memory that 2 U.S. pilots have been rescued separately deep in enemy territory." The IDF said they avoided striking this area as American planes and helicopters flew at a low altitude, hoping to find
find any sign of the service member. Israeli forces, however, ramped up airstrikes over the weekend in other areas, targeting Iran's petrochemical plants.
So, a good day for America, and President Trump has set this deadline. We'll see exactly what happens. Let's go back to some of your calls. Let's go to line 2, Lamar. It says here in Philly. Lamar, I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yes, sir, Mr. Carter. We're out here in the field trying to apprehend some desperate men. But we took time to call your program because we compelled to after hearing your last caller. It is an undeniable fact that there's a spirit of lawlessness in the country. But the last time I looked, the black community does not have an exclusive monopoly on it. The last time I looked, the 2 people in Minneapolis who attempted to do injury to our federal agents, a woman who used her vehicle to attempt to run over a federal agent was a white woman. And the man who showed up armed with 30 rounds of ammunition after spitting in the face.
Okay. Let me help you out. I'm not into preaching right now. Let me help you out. Let's say everything you just said is true. Let's say everything you just said is true. Are you there? Lamar? Oh, okay. So you see, folks, that's what happens. And that's what happens in the black community, to be honest with you. They want to preach. They want to give you their truth. And then when you check them on it, because they know it's bull, you know what, just like I know it's bull, you know what, then they panic and hang up. Because let's say everything he just said is true. What does that have to do with that 7-month-old baby that was shot through the head in a stroller minding her business? See, folks don't want to be honest. They want to talk that talk. All you have to do is listen carefully. Just listen. That's why I listen. They always want to blame the white man for their problems, for their dysfunction. I've got to take a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I've got some interesting tweets. Hermit, Sal, I'll get to in a second. But Lamar is back on the line. So hopefully you don't hang up, Lamar. What just happened there?
Mr. Carter, with all due respect, it is your program and you can conduct yourself in a which way you want. But if you're going to start out a conversation with yours truly telling me in a condescending tone you're not in the mood for preaching, this is
so okay. So wait, did you just hang up on me? Did you hang up on me?
As fate would have it, we were disconnected. But it did
okay. So Lamar, you know why I cut you off? Because I'm not saying you're this way. I've seen poverty pimps all my life. Running game, talking talk, blaming the white man. The problems get worse. So you started out, you want to point to white crimes. What that got to do with what's going on in the black community?
Mr. Carter, with all due respect, our great country, America, and the greatness of all her ethnic groups and races, it must be, having been in the profession of arms my entire adult life, and currently I'm a fugitive apprehension agent. I can say this and say it with conviction, Mr. Carter. It must be demonstrated forcefully to young and old, black and white, that crime doesn't pay and that the seed of crime bears bitter fruit. That's what has to be done.
Lamar, are there white people in the black communities committing these crimes?
Mr. Carter, there is dysfunction going on in.
Okay, Lamar, you want to point to everybody. Okay, what was it a white person that shot that 7-month-old baby through the head?
We know the answer to that is no, Mr. Carter.
Right. So why do you? First of all, Lamar, I have friends that try and do the same thing you're doing right now. I'll point to the problem, and they want to say, oh, blacks, and give percentages, and more whites the problem. Let's deal with urban crime. Can you just deal with that for a second?
I'm dealing with urban crime right now in North Philly, getting some pretty bad men off the street, Mr. Carter.
Well, that's a good thing. So what's the answer to stop urban crime, to stop 7-month-old babies from being shot in the head?
Well, at the risk of repeating myself, which I'm going to have to do, it must be forcefully demonstrated to young and old, black and white, that
here we go again, black and white. Here we go again. Here we go again. This is exactly what's wrong with the black community. This is exactly, folks, America, I hope this is exactly what the problem is. This is why we can't solve anything. This is why these kids are becoming dumber and don't know anything, because there are people constantly making excuses for their behavior. Lamar, you don't see that's what you're doing right now?
Mr. Carter, I've never been a man to make excuses either for myself or other people. I'm just calling it as I see it, and I'm on the ground. What you're talking to men who we're boots on the ground. We're seeing it up close and personal, Mr. Carter. And I only called to share with you and your radio audience. That's all we did in good faith.
Okay, but you still haven't answered how we solve the problems. You keep saying black and white. I don't see white people in urban areas committing crime.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Carter, there was a time in this country prior to the 1960s when something called the Great Society was launched by the Democrat Party. Up until that time, do you know, Mr. Carter, almost all children born in black families were born to families with a mother and a father in the home.
Right, so here we go again, blaming the white man. Here we go again, blaming the white man.
The answer, Mr. Carter, if you want to get right down to it, we need black men to step up and be fathers.
Okay, so why didn't you say that in the first 5 seconds, Lamar? You and I both know what the answer is. Why you keep pointing to white when we both know that this is a problem that we have to solve in-house?
Well, I think you're hitting on the truth there, Mr. Carter, and I think I just agreed with you a second ago. Yes, sir. We need black men to be fathers and step up to their responsibilities.
Right. Okay. Well, Lamar, thank you, and be careful out there bounty hunting for these criminals, because as you know, you've got some thugs out. Go ahead.
Mr. Carter, we don't use that term bounty hunter any longer in the profession because it has negative connotations. We're called fugitive apprehension agents now.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay, Lamar. Thank you. Thank you. And Lamar, a thug is a thug is a thug, all right? Go lock him up, okay? Go make your money, lock him up. What did he say, Matt Blaze? They called him what was the term?
Fugitive apprehension agent.
See, that's why we have the problems that we have in America. What was that one more time? Fugitive
apprehension agent.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. That's what they call them. Let's go to Patrice in Brooklyn here. Patrice, you got 45 seconds. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Dominic. It's FAA, Fugitive Apprehension Agent.
Okay, Patrice, I just told you got 45 seconds, and you're focusing on that?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Dominic, if I may, dear. Have you worked with many persons who are on welfare who are black?
What type of question is that?
Well, it's a question because I thought that was the issue. I thought that was the issue that you were on, for this hour.
Well, one, I don't have to work with people because I was on welfare myself as a kid growing up in the Bronx. So I know what I'm talking about, Patrice. Patrice, you don't listen to me when I say we're short on time. When I said to you we had 45 seconds, I wasn't joking with you. So unfortunately, if you want to call back, you can call back next hour. But we've got to wrap this first hour up. We're going to take a break. We see all your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car is gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we have a lot of telephone calls, 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter here with you. Hope you had a great Easter, a happy Passover. We're dealing with a lot this hour. And so I'm going to continue for those of you just joining us nationally now, last hour we discussed the 7-month-old baby shot through the head in the stroller and the problems of urban America. And I see we have a lot of calls where people want to talk about that, from retired law enforcement to a woman named Jackie in Harlem to Joe in Trenton, New Jersey, all over the place. We're going to get to your calls in just 1 second. So I'm going to break format, if you will, because of the volume of calls. But I do want to do this to begin with. So just bear with me for a second, and then I'm getting to your telephone calls. 2 items. Trump derangement syndrome. It is so bad. It is so bad that Senator Fetterman, right? Senator Fetterman from Pennsylvania. I want you to listen carefully to what he says here, because it is so accurate.
Someone asked me, who's the leader of the Democratic Party? I said, no, that's TDS. That's Trump derangement syndrome. Our party is increasingly defined by the exact opposite of what Trump says. I said that Trump could come out with, for ice cream and lazy Sundays, we as Democrats, we would decide we have to vote that down, and that's a bad thing. Now I always agreed I'm going to follow what I think is right.
Now, shouldn't that be what all of us are doing, following what's right? So think about what John Fetterman just said of Pennsylvania. If Trump comes out for ice cream and lazy Sundays, the Democrats would find a way to say that's bad for America, vote it down. And, they love illegals, migrants, Democrats, that is. Here we go again. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and we're starting with your calls momentarily, announced over the weekend an immigration detainer against an illegal immigrant accused of leading Ohio deputies on a high-speed chase that ended in a crash, killing a pregnant 17-year-old girl and her unborn child and injuring another woman. This from Newsmax.
The Department of Homeland Security announcing that Tarsim Singh, an illegal migrant from India, is now charged with reckless homicide after a high-speed chase in February, which led to the death of his 17-year-old pregnant passenger, Ashley Holmes, and her unborn child. Singh was allegedly fleeing from police at 100 miles per hour in Darke County, Ohio, when he crashed into a Jeep and the young mother was thrown from his car. The driver of the Jeep was injured but conscious and alert. Singh's bond is set at $1 million, the DHS saying it has lodged a detainer for Singh's arrest, which could lead to him being deported from the United States.
So, folks, you don't think the criminals know that they won't be taken seriously unless they kill somebody? And then they may not even be taken seriously. So that means up until that time, they can commit crime after crime. I'm thinking about Cyndi Lauper's song, Time After Time. I think that's it, right? So they can do crime after crime, right? And do it. It's not a laughing matter. And just keep doing it, right? Right? And I see Matt Blaze over there. He's jumping now to find Cyndi Lauper. But let's start with some of the telephone calls. And by the way, this hour around your calls, Savannah Guthrie, of course, her mom, still missing, released the Easter message. And I think it's important enough for you to hear it. We're going to get to it at some point during the hour. But we have a lot of calls, 800-848-9222. And I want to get to them on this Monday AM. Let's begin with Jackie, line 3 in Harlem. Jackie, what's on your mind?
First, let me say, Dominique, I know the family is in pain. As a mother who lost 2 kids to gun violence,
this is Jackie Rowe Adams. Jackie Rowe Adams, who unfortunately is not a laughing matter, who lost. And let me just say this, Jackie. I didn't know you were going to call in. Jackie lost 2 sons to gun violence, and Jackie is the real deal. Jackie is not a poverty pimp. like half of these clowns out here. Jackie is on the front line. Anything going on that's important to the community, no matter what time it is, she's there when it doesn't mean a dime for her pocket. So it's important that I set this up that way, Jackie. Go right ahead, please.
I agree with you. I agree with what is going on with all this black on black crime, and that's what it is. People, they're running around shooting each other with these illegal guns. Enough is enough. I am so glad, Dominic, that you're speaking out on it. I am so glad that it is people that is sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are running around and talking about everything else except for real public safety. Now, the families is hurting. What are we going to do about this gun violence, Dominic? 20 years, and I said over and over again, I can't believe that Harlem of the Save been around for 20 years now going on. And it's because we trying to save lives. Because we can't bring back our kids. This mother and family can't bring back that 7-month-old. And we are steady allowing these guns to come in our city and our state. We got to do something about it. We have to do something about it. I'm in pain. When I hear that. When I hear these gunshots and people getting killed every second. But thank God crime is going down. But when you hear stuff like this, and I want to say thank you, NYPD, for doing your job so very well. Yes, we have people in jail. We caught some of them. But we still have people on the street that's doing crime. And it must stop. It must stop.
Jackie, let me ask this question to you, because something that breaks my heart. I'm going to be straight with you, and I'm going to be straight with the audience. So in my heart, I know what the problem is. The problem is the black man. Now, that sounds kind of sexist, because that's implying that something may be wrong with the black woman. Nothing's wrong with the black woman, but you need a man in the household, because somebody's got to teach that child right. Everybody can't be the friend of that child. Somebody's got to say, if you act up, that's your, you know what, because I'm going to hem you up and I'm going to straighten you out. But you also got to lead by example. You got to lead by example.
Dominic. That's right.
And so,
that's right.
So my philosophy, Jackie, is that, and I to me, it's clear as day. I don't know why everybody can't see it. My philosophy is this.
I know it. I say it all the time. Stop trying to be your child's friend. Stop trying to hang out with your child, school friends and trying to be young. Check your room. Check your house. Check under your bed. Know who your kids are with. You have to lead by example.
But Jackie, answer this for me. Well, let me. I just diverted, so let me sidetrack. So we just heard from Lamar in Philadelphia. Why in our community they'd rather blame me for talking about the problem than being about the problem and doing something about it? Why is that?
Because they won't do nothing about it, and they don't want you to do nothing about it. That's why. But I'm so glad you're doing something about it. And they should blame themselves. Anybody that don't understand what's really going on should blame themselves for all this shooting, and especially in the urban community. That's where it's coming from. And they have to stop. People get upset with me, Dominique, because I say it's black on black crime. They say, oh, no, it's not. Well, where are you? You don't see what's going on? Let's try to get together and stop it. The community has to take back our kids and take back our community. We can't continue to blame people and blame the Dominiques of the world because he's trying to help or she's trying to help. We have to take ownership. It is happening. You are right on. You know that most of the things we agree on because it's happening. You're trying to save lives, and that's what you're doing, and I'm so proud of you, Dominique. Keep trying to save lives, but eventually I will get to talk to the mother and see the family when things calm down a little, because they're traumatized right now. They don't need everybody running after them. They in shock. They're in shock. The pain is really out there, and people don't understand. Let the family try to heal a little bit before you start running out there. But people in our community, Dominique, I pray that they understand what's going on. And I-95 and this gun trafficking, all these illegal guns coming into the urban community. And I'll say it again and again, to the urban community, and I want you to continue to say it. That's why, Dominique, I have the highest respect for you, because you bring out the issues, whether it's the favorite or not. You're not afraid to speak about it, and I join you. I'm not afraid to speak about it myself. And that's why April 24th, we're going to have our celebration of celebrating the lives that we have saved and going to continue to save.
You have saved a lot.
I want you to keep talking about it, Dominique.
So, hey, Jackie, I don't know what your schedule is, but I got to take a break in a second. I don't know if you can hold on this long, but I got to do another short segment and then take a break. But I want to come back for a few more minutes with you if you can hold on. If you can't, I understand. But what I want to ask you is this. For me, it's real clear. I'm the leader of the family unit. When I was growing up, Jackie, black men would get out there and hustle at night if they had to for the family. If it meant doing a plumbing job, if it meant mopping the floors, whatever it meant, you would make it happen. Those days are gone. And I just don't know how we got to this point. So I want you to think about that, let it marinate, because the way I feel is that in my household, the buck stops with me. Period. As the leader. Nobody else. No government program with me. So I just want you to, I got to do another short segment. I want you to think about that, and then I'm coming right back to you. And folks, we see all your calls. We're going to get to them. We're going to take a break, and we're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. We see all of your calls, but right now I'm talking to Jackie Rowe Adams, who is a major leader in Harlem, New York. She's the real deal, folks. I don't say that lightly. And you know what? You're always so unassuming. I only have about 3.5 minutes. Why didn't you identify yourself, Jackie, when you called in? I took your call at random. I didn't know it was you.
Oh, I don't know. I just said Jackie. And
right, you always do that, though. Like when you show up at events at 9 o'clock in the morning, like, for example, right, I'm going to keep it real. You were one of the only community leaders there at the PAL Center at the Christmas party for the kids, right? All of these folks got a lot of talk. They all receiving taxpayer dollars for gang intervention, anti-gun programs, and nobody's nowhere to be seen except for you.
Say it again. And then you went off when you went to break, you said to marinate what's happening with the fathers, black men. Mm-hmm. A lot of this weed have a lot to do with it, Dominic.
It does. They become zombies.
Weed with your kids and the kids' friends, and whether they're adults or not. If you want respect, you have to give respect to these young people.
And I'm not your friend. You're my child. You're my daughter. You're my son. I'm not your friend.
That's right. And this is where it got lost. Then you have the women, the mothers. Some of them, they so wrapped up in their man, so they're losing sight of these kids.
They don't care about the kids. Jackie, let's call it what it is. The kids become a welfare check. Let's call it what it is.
Yes, it becomes a welfare check. Well, it must stop because with the welfare check come that crime, and if you're not paying attention to what your child is doing, that's when the crime come in, and you worrying about, I have to go out there and buy my kids some sneakers. Well, where is the father? Why you having all these children? Because a lot of these children are getting in trouble because they don't feel love. They don't feel the love from their father. They don't feel the love a lot of times for their mother. So they turn to the street and get in these gangs.
And once they're in the gang, it's a wrap.
And it's in the urban community. Yeah, people say it's in other. No, it's in the urban. Let's talk about the real urban community where all this violence is happening and these illegal guns. Now they making these ghost guns. Now they make it, and we have to pay attention. We have to come out. And we have to do what we're supposed to do in our communities and stop blaming the police. And then stop blaming Dominic for bringing it to the forefront so we could do something about it. And that is my message, Dominic.
I don't care what they say about me. Has Mayor Mamdani reached out to you yet?
Absolutely not.
You've got to be joking me.
No. Oh, no. No.
I thought he's a mayor of the people. It doesn't get any more grass. Mayor Adams reached out to you almost weekly.
Absolutely. And to others. But let me say this. Mayor Adams know the urban community. Mayor Adams took an oath as the mayor to be the mayor for everybody and public safety. And Mayor Adams made sure that the communities was taken care of, whether they liked him or not. And that's the thing. It's not about who you like. It's about let's get the job done and let's save some lives. And that's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. It's not about.
Wait, I'm sorry. I have a hard national break. I have a hard national break that I have to take. I want to have you on later this week. We'll be in contact with you because I do have to move on. And I have this hard break. You know I love you, and I love you because of what you're doing for the community. Thank you. Folks, I got to take a break. We're coming right back. Jackie, we'll be in touch. I want you back this week. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I didn't think the pain from the shingles rash would affect simple, everyday tasks like bathing, getting dressed, or even walking around. I was wrong. Though not everyone at risk will develop it, 99% of people over the age of 50 already have the virus that causes shingles, and it could reactivate at any time. I developed it, and the blistering rash lasted for weeks. Don't learn the hard way, like I did. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today. Sponsored by GSK.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
I'm looking at my Twitter, at my ex. Catherine Trunk says, at Dominic TV, excellent call by Jackie from Harlem. What a very strong individual. Catherine, she is very old school. But what I think about, to be honest with you, Catherine, Jackie still very, very vibrant and so on, but she and I are getting older, and these generations are in trouble. Jackie's not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be here forever. What's going to happen then? The poverty pimps are winning. They're just taking your taxpayer dollars, and it's the blind leading the blind. I'm going back to your telephone calls in just 1 second. Matt Blaze, tell me something good. How was your Easter Sunday Passover? Did you do anything good?
I do what I do every weekend, but now even more so since my dog is homeschooled now. I take her out every morning. I throw the Frisbee. I tire her out. She just runs back and forth in my front yard with the Frisbee. But then I have to she gets the Frisbee, but then she doesn't want to give it back. So I have to kind of trick her. So I have a
She
ball.
says it's hers.
Yeah, I have the ball, and I have to get down, and I'll call her over, and then as she comes by, I grab it, and then I throw it, and she'll chase it, and so and she's caught it a few times where she's caught up to it and caught it in the air, which is pretty cool. Yeah, very fast, very fast.
Wow. Okay.
So that's my new thing now. It gives me a little bit of exercise.
There you go.
Because I had
I need to come out there, drive all the way to where you live at, and we do it together. Samantha's her name, right?
That's it. Yeah.
And we do it together, the three of us.
Come
right?
on over,
Just
Dom.
the three of us. We can make it if we try. I just changed the song.
It's
the song
okay.
Is just the two of us. I
Me,
believe.
you, and Samantha, the German
Right?
Shepherd. Sounds like a movie for a road trip.
Yeah, we could be Mod Squad, right? Julie Link. And who was the third one? Julie Link and Link was the black guy. Julie was the woman.
A little before my time, Dominic. I do not know that one.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I do,
okay.
but I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go back to the telephone calls. But I do have a question for Catherine Trunk. So, Catherine, I was thinking about you earlier today, right? I have to nap at some point in order to be fresh for tonight. And my cat, Beyonce, don't start, Blaze, has this thing with me, right? So I'll be laying down and he'll just come up to me and like almost headbutt my arm. And like he's trying to get me to lift my arm, and then I'll lift my arm almost. Oh, here we go. And so almost like a bull, whatever. He goes directly into my arm with his head, and with the bottom of it. I don't understand why he does that. Cats are a little different. I'm not going to call my cat weird. I'm just going to say cats are a little different. And then he'll touch me with his nose, and his nose is wet. I think it's his nose, and I think he's not licking me. But like Catherine was right. They have personality, and the cat comes up to me, and he's like, yo, show me some love. Don't say nothing about my cat. Don't call my cat transgender. None of that, Matt Blaze. None of that. Don't laugh like that. None of that.
Hey, I didn't name the male cat Beyonce.
See, here we go. All right, folks, let's get back to the serious topic at hand. Lots of calls. I'm going to get to Mike and Comac in a moment. A retired detective, I think, if I can see his screen. My eyesight is kind of shaky here. But let's go to Steve in Elmont. Line 3, Steve, what's on your mind? Steve. Okay, Steve is not there. Let's go to Mike and Comac. Mike, what's on your mind? On line 5.
Hi, Dom. Good to speak with you again.
Hi.
I'm actually a retired lieutenant. We've spoken before.
Okay.
I just want to share something with you. I had many interactions with the black community, but one stands out for me. Remember 25 years ago, the Admiral Louina case where the Haitian immigrant was sodomized?
Yes.
Okay. Terrible, terrible crime. Cop was still serving time who did that. Anyway, we had to meet with the community, the whole police department, in schools, in churches, community centers. And in one of these meetings, a female community leader tells me, I was a sergeant at the time, she tells me, well, you cops have to understand, when we're out there on our front stoop, smoking a fatty, drinking a 40, or shooting CeeLo, that's part of our culture. You have to respect that. Don, I was appalled.
You don't want me to really respond to that, Mike, because you already know what I'm going to say. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be completely straight with you. The same thing you just said, when I speak around the country, right, on child abuse or children's issues, and oftentimes it's a law enforcement crowd, they'll ask me the same questions, the same thing you just said. And I'm going to go a step further. And I really shouldn't say this on the radio. I really shouldn't, but that means I'm going to say it anyway. I've been asked repeatedly from Wisconsin to Idaho. Now, the crowds were like 95% white when I was asked this. But it was asked from a point of love. They weren't trying to offend anybody. And again, these were law enforcement officers, and they raised their hands. This happened more than once. And they said, Mr. Carter, can I ask you a question? Sure, go right ahead. And the question went like this, Mike. Seriously, what is wrong with your people? And I said, what do you mean? and they said, they want to do what they want to do, and the law doesn't matter, and they feel that they should have a right to do what they want to do. So this is not the first time I've heard this. I've heard this in private settings when I'm speaking to law enforcement officers around the country. So, but you were appalled when you heard this.
Yes, Tom. The funny thing was, one of my black officers went crazy on this woman. He said, "How dare you?" He told her, "There's no one in Africa playing CeeLo or drinking 40s." I mean, he was worse than I was.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, and it's the same thing as when you want to barbecue at 3:00 in the morning in front of the building in the housing projects. And I say this as someone that used to live in 2 different housing projects. It's the same thing. And to think that you have a right to barbecue at 3:00 in the morning in the projects in front of the entrance building, it's just, I don't know. What's the answer, Mike? What's the answer before I move on to the next call?
Dom, I really don't have an answer. I would say enforcement, but we're back to square one again. I believe in zero tolerance. I really do. But there's just some community, members who don't like that, and they're going to speak out and claim racism or police brutality or whatnot. So
because
I know the answer.
I can guarantee you the answer. It'll open up a can of act right. It's called the Street Crimes Unit. All the nonsense stops when the boys that really own the street, when they come out. All these wannabe gangsters with the Street Crimes Unit, all of that stuff stops. But then they get the poverty pimps to go, where, this is racism. This is racism. And my own friends, not all, some, will say exactly the same thing and then get mad at me because I won't give 2 cents to their argument. Thank you so much for the call. Let's see here. Let's go to Linda in New Jersey, line 3. What's on your mind, Linda?
Hi, Dominic. I noticed that
Linda.
these people that are causing trouble on the street, they should be in school or at work, because idle time is the devil's workshop.
That's true. But I can't even answer that one, Linda. I can't begin to, because if I answer that one, I can only go but so far. And then even I have to pull back. But you know darn well they're not in school and they're not at work and they're at their girlfriend's house. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Linda, your heart is in the right place, and that's the answer. But I don't know. Let's go to Mark in Kentucky, line 4. Mark, what's on your mind?
Hi, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Thank you. Doing well. We'll make it quick because you got a time limit. Lamar, I appreciate what he said. And Ms. Elms, I appreciate what you said. I know you lost your 2 children and gun violence, and I'm so sorry. Fetterman, I made a comment about Fetterman a long time ago that I didn't like him, and he's not going to debate it because I had a stroke, and I assume he wasn't going to make it. I apologize for that. But let me say this. I had a roommate. I went to school, only white on the team, and I had a roommate that was black. He didn't like me, and I didn't like him. By the end of this term, we loved each other. Whatever he said, I was with it. He was with me with it. People bleed blood. It's red. Whether you're black or white, we need to support each other. Period. As far as student violence, we walk up white people here. So, let's support each other. Don't get on Dominic and say you don't support the black community. You've lost your mind.
Well, I don't pay much attention to that, Mark, because I do more community outreach nationally than 95% of these clowns, before kids, before communities, and so on. So, but I got to move on, so I'll give you the final word, Mark. Go right ahead.
No, thank you, buddy. You have a nice evening.
Thank you. Let's go to Walter, line 3 in Baltimore. Walter, good morning. What's on your mind?
Yeah, good morning, Dominic. I I understand black people being wary of cops. I must admit, I understand it. You see black people getting killed by law enforcement, and they get scared. They get scared.
Wait a minute. That's not a two-way street.
No, George Floyd got killed.
No. Don't tell me about that drug addict. That's not a two-way street. Where you said black people getting killed by cops. That's what you just said, right?
Yeah, hundreds.
That's not a two-way street. That's not a two-way street.
Everything is two-way street. They're getting killed by cops.
Are you drinking right now? Because your words are slurring and you're not making much sense. No offense. Are you drinking right now?
I'm not drinking. I'm making sense. I'm telling you that when black people are getting killed by cops in America, they are right to be wary.
So you're talking about black people being killed by cops. You quote George Floyd. If you listen to this program, you would know that's the worst thing you could ever quote to me, because he's not some hero. He's not some leader. George Floyd, I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but what do any of this got to do with this 7-month-old baby being shot in the head?
Killed?
Excuse me. What does this have to do with this 7-month-old baby being shot in the head?
This 7-month-old baby was killed because people are scared. They're
scared. Okay. No, you're done. Meet Mr. Click now. That's ridiculous. Call one of those liberal shows where the blind can lead the blind, where you folks can lead each other, because that's not going to work here at all. Judith in Brooklyn, line 5. What's on your mind, Judith?
Hi, Dominic. I'm listening to this conversation since the beginning, and I'm thinking to myself, there's one thing missing that no one's talking about. God. Where is God? I think the problem, or part of the problem, or most of the problem is put God in your life. Become God-fearing. Connect with God. If I wouldn't be God-fearing, I would do the craziest stuff. It's because God has certain laws. Do not kill. Do not steal. Do not this. Do not that. Honor your parents. Blah, blah. Get married. Then have a baby. All this stuff. If we would put God in our lives, all right, I think that would make the difference. I'm not hearing anyone talk about God. And you know something? Once upon a time when I was a teenager, there was no such thing as an atheist. You'd be embarrassed to be an atheist. Now I hear Bill O'Reilly saying that atheism is the largest religion, which is not a religion.
Catch your breath. Judith, catch your breath. You know that I'm very fond of you, and I got to take a break. And I know your heart is in the right place. But you do know that church membership in communities of color is declining sharply. So there goes the right. But if it's declining, it's not going to get better.
But that's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah, I'm telling you now. There was no such thing as an atheist in my time when I was a kid. As a teenager, you'd be embarrassed. Now, Bill O'Reilly says the biggest religion is atheism. And I thought to myself, what is that? That's not a religion, not believing in God. There's
he was being sarcastic.
Running around.
He was being sarcastic.
He was saying the truth. He was saying the ratio, the percentage, whatever. Let me tell you something.
Quickly, Judith, I'm late for a break. Go ahead.
No, I think we should bring back God into our lives, make a big deal difference. If not for God,
Judith, I have to step in. I just told you that church membership is declining. I know your heart is in the right place, but it's not working. And I don't know how you get them back in the church. I don't know. But I do know that I'm late for a break, 2 minutes late for a break, and we are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Looking at my Twitter, at my X, at Dominic TV, Catherine Trunk, regarding my cat, Beyonce says Beyonce loves me. She says when a cat headbutts you, because I didn't understand, Catherine. I'm like, why does this cat keep coming up to me while I'm in bed, headbutting me on my arm? She says, when a cat, oh, here we go, Matt Blaze. When a with headbutts you, it's a sign of affection. It was headbutting your arm and giving you a sniff kiss. A sniff kiss with its nose. And it was wet, but I didn't like it. That's a loving, loyal cat. And she says that her and her mother are looking into getting a middle-aged cat, laid-back cat. Still miss their cat, Ginger, that recently passed away. Yetta is a retired teacher. She sent me a class photo of her and her kids when she was a teacher. I have a lot of respect for Yetta because Yetta, you could look at the class picture, and it looks like, frankly, a lot of African-American Latino kids. And Yetta says that many of her kids were raised in homes with no father. They still thrived in school. She says she still maintains that if they changed the way students are educated, we would have a different situation. That's from someone that was on the front line. Let's go to Mary in Bud Lake, New Jersey, line 3. Mary, what's on your mind?
I just want to say that when the mother was crying and she said the words, "I'm so sorry, baby," that went right through me. That's exactly how a mother feels when when you're taking care of anyone you love. That is exactly the feeling. It's guilt. You couldn't stop them from being hurt, and there's no race in that. That is just how a mother feels. And we're all the same. And I was just crying when I heard that. That's all.
From one mother to another.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Mary, as a mom, and I know you can't conceive this, but what do you think is going through her head? And she's only 20 years old.
What's going through her head is that she should have been able to stop it. And, of course, she couldn't stop it. She couldn't. But in her head, it's her fault because she should have been able to protect that child. That's what she said. And
she did go on to say exactly that. But I clipped it. She did go on to say it was her fault for not being able to stop it. So you're correct in your assessment.
And that's just how you feel, and you never stop feeling that way.
Well, thank you very much, Mary, for the call from Bud Lake, New Jersey. Let's go to line 1, staying in New Jersey. Joe in Trenton. Joe, good morning. What's on your mind?
You know, Dominic, when the kids turn 18, it should be a mandatory 2 years of non-combat duty. That'll take them off the street. That'll teach them discipline, and also teach them family.
Hey, Joe, it's wonderful, but don't take this the wrong way. That's pie in the sky. You can't get Democrats to agree on anything, and you think they're going to agree to do what Israel does? That's never going to happen.
Yeah. You know what, Dominic? You're right, 100% right. But it's going to have to happen when the Republicans take some kind of a big, they're in charge by more than a few. Mike Lawler's passing something called the Dignity Act passed.
Right, but that, and I'm a big fan of Mike Lawler. Essentially, it's not gonna. You never know what's gonna happen, but it's not gonna go anywhere. Democrats, the votes are so narrow that it's almost impossible to get anything done. Joe, I'm with you. It's a great idea. It's just that. When you come up with these great ideas, then we have to answer if the political will is there to get them accomplished. And that is the problem, because Democrats have become the party of no, the party of criminals. Thank you for the call. To those of you who didn't get a chance to get to your call, I'm back at 3 p.m. Eastern. Hope you had a great Easter. Hope you had a great Passover. I'll see you folks at 3 p.m.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Sacco and Feliz, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFeliz.com. SaccoFillas.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.